Well, it's NFL draft day, and the Eagles, they're picking 32nd. You know why? Because they won the freaking Super Bowl. Bob Cooney joins me next for this edition of PHLY Eagles Podcast. Hello and happy NFL Draft Day to all out there. No, we are not Bo Wolf and Zach Berman.
Although we want to be.
I strive to be every day. We are not. I am Jamie Lynch. He's Bob Cooney. This is the afternoon edition of the Draft Day coverage here at PHLY. And of course, we are presented by our friends over at TrueMark Financial Credit Union. I got a daughter turning 6 next week. I got to start teaching her about financial literacy and understanding and education. And it's always great to have a credit union on your side. So visit one of the many area locations of TrueMark Financial, headquartered right here in Fort Washington, Bob, just down the road.
Right here, right here in Center City, Fort Washington, right down the road.
It's right there. It's right down the road from where I live. Yeah,
that's what you meant.
Happy Draft Day, Bob.
Happy Draft Day to you, Jim.
I love the NFL draft.
I missed not waking up every day and not hearing you give another mock draft.
Yeah, it's like my full season of college football degeneracy and gambling kind of culminates with this.
It's all your degeneracy kind of coming into fruition.
I have a lot of like Tuesday night Maction and Friday night late night West Coast games and Saturday slates where I'm either spending money I won or chasing money I lost, and all of it compiles into
now it
this
all comes
day.
together.
Yeah.
There it is.
And I get to enjoy NFL draft day.
Don't draft him. He cost me $100 one afternoon.
I used to joke on the radio that every war room in the NFL needs one degenerate college gambler in it because they can be like, no, so-and-so cost me in the fourth quarter late with the game on the line. He couldn't come up with the catch. That guy stinks. And then they could discard all that information and do the right thing.
Yeah.
But yes, it is a fun day here at PHLY. So we're doing the show at 2 o'clock, then at 8 o'clock tonight, and live for all of the action this weekend are going to be our All-City NFL draft expert and analyst friend Duffy, teamed up with Bo Wolf and Zach Berman. Zach Berman was breaking the news last year. So if you want to, probably get the news first, tune in tonight, 8 o'clock. The guys do a tremendous job. I watched all weekend last year. It was better than the national stuff. So big night ahead for everybody. That's why we're here, to give them a little reprieve before the big evening.
Yep, they're studying. They're making last-minute phone calls, seeing what's going on.
Oh, yeah. I talked to Zach yesterday before the show, and we were talking about, what his normal sleep pattern is outside of busy season. And he's like, I wake up at 5:30 every day. And I was like, well, what do you do? And
check
he's like,
my phone.
he said, I read. He's like, I just read everything I can get my hands on. And I was like, yeah, you're sick in the head.
Well, there's no worse.
In the best way, but.
Yeah, there's nothing worse, or I shouldn't say worse. There's not a more anxiety-filled feeling than your phone buzzing around trade deadline, draft, whatever it is.
Yeah.
When you're a beat writer at like 2:30 in the morning, you're like, oh, here we go. And you just got to do it. And nobody does it better than Zach.
No. And after the show tonight, Zach will be hurrying down to the NovaCare to catch up with Howie Roseman and get the latest on if they make a pick tonight. Let's start there. Pick 32.
Okay.
Obviously, it means they won the Super Bowl. Very cool.
They did. I watched that game.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'd like to run that back again.
Yeah.
Do they pick at 32 tonight, Bob? I feel, you know what I feel in my loins that I want?
No, I don't know how your loins feel.
They want to trade up.
So, did I tell you? I think I might have talked to Tyler about this.
I think they're in primo position to trade up.
That's what I said to Tyler like an hour ago when I got here. I said, they have enough bullets in the chamber, obviously. Now, also, take this into consideration. Look what Howie Roseman's done lately. Okay, so he's hit home runs.
It's unreal.
Like if you're a home run hitter now, what are you going to settle for singles? I don't think you're going to drop back to 40, 50th or something like that. No, you're up there swinging away. So I think they're drafting tonight. No question in my mind. That's what I'll say without doubt in my mind is that they are drafting tonight. Whether it's at 32 or moving up, I would go advantage to moving up than sticking at 32.
So you don't think, because the 32nd pick, Lamar Jackson, famous instance.
Sure. Yeah.
Where if a team really likes somebody, that 32 pick is great because you can slide up, get that fifth year option on said player.
Right.
And with this quarterback draft being one of the weirdest in a long time, does a Jackson Dart fall to 32? Does a show from Louisville fall to 32? Does one of those guys that's like a fringe player, do the Eagles trade back? It almost feels like that's more likely, but I'm with you. Like
I just feel home run Howie.
Yeah, like you have the Goedert bullet in the chamber. You have 20 picks over the next 2 years. Yesterday, Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network, who used to work with the Eagles, knows them as well as anybody, said they're in love with Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
And if Malachi Starks, slips to, let's say, 21, 22, 23, do you get a little antsy and go get your CJ GJ replacement?
That you asked me who my guy was. I'm sure it's another segment.
That's my guy too.
Is it really?
Yeah, we can spoiler it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Malachi
officially my
Starks,
guy. I want.
I don't mind, but also if
we'll get into our other guys later.
Yeah, we'll get.
But Malachi Starks is a great example of a guy that probably isn't going to make it to 32.
No.
Do you go get him?
Yes. And I'm not saying that because of the player. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to lie and say every time I watch Georgia, I'm on Malachi Starks all the time. No,
it does fill the UGA kink that they have. So.
It fills that. It fills a need.
Yeah.
He is projected as a guy that could come in and start right away.
There he is. Look at him. He fills out the pads well.
He just look at now. I'll tell you what. He's my guy as much as Nick Emanuori. From South Carolina, who I have watched an awful lot because, as you know,
son went there.
I had a son that went there, so Saturdays is South Carolina Saturdays. This kid is a beast. So either one of those guys, Jamie, if they don't go deep, now here's what I'll say. I think they're going to go defensive line.
So do I.
If they don't, I think they're going to go safety, and it's one of those two guys.
Yes.
And I'm great with that.
So I did not get to see Emanuori play a ton this year. I've since watched highlights.
Yeah, sure.
Guess what? Everybody looks good in highlights.
That's why they call them highlights. Yeah, they don't put out lowlights.
But in my one assistance of Fran Duffy's massive draft guide this year, when he was out in Indianapolis at the Combine, our heads of content around the company all took a night and helped him data entry. Mm-hmm. And I had the night of secondary players and tight ends. Oh. So I was sitting there for like 4 hours with wine in my hand.
Drooling.
He's just doing Combine data entry. And, 40 time, shuttle drill, cone drill, hand size, all that stuff. And a lot of times I couldn't see the player's name because of how the spreadsheet was set up.
So you would see it.
So I would just see like the athletic score numbers. And this one guy just kept like jumping off the page in neon at me. And I eventually would slide it over and it would be Nick Emanuori. Like his athleticism on paper is like out of the building good. Yeah. And then when you listen to the real film grinders, the Fran Duffys of the world, they say, if you have these two guys in a gym or on a combine field, Emanuori looks like a different player than Malachi Starks. And then you put on the tape, and Malachi Starks is a better player.
Yeah. But the 6'2", 225-ish thing that Emanuori is,
it's hard not to swoon over.
And I'm not kidding you. Like watching South Carolina games this year, we did a lot. You talk about a guy that stands out on a field to be like the first time you watch, wow, that guy's playing safety?
Yeah.
That big, that fast. So either one of them I'm good with. I will think, like I said, I'll say 100% certainty in my mind that the Eagles are picking tonight.
Okay.
I'll go
like that.
I'll go like 80% they're going to go D-line.
Same.
And then I'll say 20%. I'm not even going to throw it out any other place but safety.
Yeah. The defensive linemen that you speak about, if they were a similar situation, if this guy's around 20 through 23, and we'll get into Fran's mock draft in a little bit to see where he's going, Mykel Williams, again, checks the Georgia kink box.
Yep.
That's a big one. But he's a defensive end.
Did you say kink box?
Kink. Yeah.
Okay.
They clearly have a perversion for bulldogs, Bob.
And you have a way with words.
But Mykel Williams, to me, I've seen Souderton from Texas A&M and Donovan Ezeraku from BC and Mike Green from Vinnie Curry's alma mater. all these guys projected to him at 32, but that Michael Williams, if he's there at 20 through 23, that's another guy I consider going to get.
Sure. And like I said before, they have enough bullets in the chamber to do it. And, if it's a case where, like, maybe the kid Nolan, they might like an awful lot.
Walter Nolan, yeah.
Now, Walter Nolan's been projected anywhere from all the mocks that I've looked at from, like, 12 to falling to the Eagles at 32. And there's
Mel Kiper had him in the top 20. Daniel Jeremiah had him falling to 32.
And there's a possible injury there, I believe.
A lot of guys have injury histories here.
Yeah. Look, nothing is off the board for the Eagles tonight. I don't think they're going to trade up to the top 10, but I do think they're going to. And here's the other thing I'll say, James. When you're looking at defensive linemen, and I talked to John Marks about this also.
What do you say, Johnny Marks?
You don't just look at these defensive linemen in this draft and go, oh, okay, really strong against the rush, but not a great edge rusher. You don't really break it down without adding this. But how much better is it with Jalen Carter?
Oh, God.
Like, dude, that's something that really has to come into play because that guy's a difference maker.
I mean, if it's a left defensive end that you end up picking, how much easier is his life going to be with Jalen Carter eating double teams next
any
to him?
Defensive lineman.
Yeah.
So,
I think Milton Williams is a very good player. I think,
sure.
I've been a Josh Sweat guy since the jump. I think they're both very good players. I think they are made to look tremendously better by Jalen Carter.
And you get a legit first rounder, a top, 20, 25 guy with that pick to put alongside of Jalen Carter. You can read what the scouting report says, but it doesn't add in when they play on a line with Jalen Carter. That means so much. That's why I really do think that Howie tonight will probably go D-line, and I agree with you. I think they might move up.
We're agreeing too much. We're like lockstep here.
Well,
Does that just
we've
mean
often been that way.
We're just visionaries in the way we see the board tonight?
You and I have always kind of been on the right same track. They've in our professional careers together, they would always try to throw something in between us.
Yeah,
and it was someone who was usually wrong or whatever.
Just see the truth.
And you and I would set the truth free, and that's what we're doing here today.
Yeah, I think it's an overwhelming large percentage that they go D-line tonight. Now, safety I think is if you can get it at a reasonable price, sure, but they're not going to kill themselves for.
No, I would see.
I think Michael Williams, they might kill themselves for if he's their type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know Daniel Jeremiah says they love Starks, and apparently the whole league does. By the way, I watched him yesterday on Good Morning Football from Lambeau. Really extremely likable kid.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. How about
extremely likable. Really good interview.
The Georgia kids, I was listening to something today where people were talking about, that's how Georgia goes after kids that are like that and then groom them even more so while they're there so that when they do come out and they are meeting with teams at the combine, wherever it may be, they come off as, okay, I'm not going to forget that kid from an interview. Yeah. And
he actually
Malachi
talked
Starks
about
seems that way.
Nakobe Dean and Nolan Smith coming back and giving them advice and prepping them.
How about that? Yeah.
So it seems like a really good alumni kind of network.
You've only been calling for this. For the Eagles to do this. I'm not kidding you. It has to be 6-7 years ago when Jamie first said when we were on the air, why don't they just draft from the SEC?
It's not that deep.
And Howie finally heard you and said, I'm going to do you one better, Lynch. I'm just going to go straight to Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, you could have had me as a degenerate gambler, as an expert in that war room this entire time.
You pleaded many times to be there, but they didn't bite.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But we see it the same way. Defensive line most likely, safety probably second most likely if they stay in the first round tonight. I do kind of hope they move up because, look, you're not going to add 20 draft picks to this roster over the next 2 seasons.
No.
You have compensatory picks coming in. You have a slew of draft picks. You have a Dallas Goedert that the entire league seems to think you're going to move. You have bullets in the chamber, so use it. Go get somebody you really want. And that would excite me a lot. If you're winning the Super Bowl and being aggressive, you're a damn shark.
Yeah. And it's just like a player. You play to your strengths. Howie's strength has been first, second, third round over. They have 10 starters since 2020. 10 starters that they've taken in the first, second, or third round. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just incredible. So that's why I really do think, and Tyler and I were talking about this before, do you get full of yourself oh, look what I've done? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You don't tell people
that's human nature. That's what an athlete does. It's what a GM does, a coach does. And why not? Why not play to your strengths? And Howie's strength right now through the past 5-6 years has been first and second round picks. So no, I don't want fallback. I don't want picking up more pick. No,
You
go
talk
out
about
and get.
the second round might be their best round. Like
It's crazy.
even pre this, Howie 2.0 or Howie 3.0, whatever version of Howie this Phoenix is that rose from the ashes after Chip Kelly. He, as good as he's been, like historically, they nail second round picks. They're very good in the second round. I just interviewed Brian Dawkins the other day. Second round pick.
Name thrower.
Like Jeremiah Trotter, second round pick. Michael Lewis, Sheldon Brown.
Yeah.
You can go on and on. Deshaun Jackson, they're really good in the second round. So we'll continue talking about that. Now, Fran Duffy, the sickest of the sick, released his mock draft, his final mock draft. I'm excited for Fran Duffy to finally get some sleep, maybe in a week or two. Him and Zach both, I feel like, and Bo's a new father. He's going to need some sleep. All these guys are going to need some sleep.
Sleep's overrated.
Yeah. But his mock draft was released today. If you're a diehard, you get full access to that, to the draft guide, to Bob Cooney and Jim Salisbury covering the Phillies, to Charlie O'Connor's work covering the Flyers, and of course Derek and Kyle's writing covering the Sixers, not to mention Les Bowen and everybody covering the Eagles. We have a great staff. And through Sunday, if you're not a diehard yet, consider becoming one because it's the best all-time offer. $36, less than $3 a month can get you that, plus an invite to our Discord, plus, tons of great stuff, discounts on events, merch. I guarantee you it's worth it. So consider becoming a diehard. Great sale going on through Sunday, so jump on that now. We're going to get to Fran Duffy's mock draft on the other side of telling you about some friends of ours here at PHLY. And this company you've known for decades, their jingle is everywhere, and that's because they've stood the test of time. That's our friends at Empire Today. And if you're like me, the thought of going to a big box store and not getting somebody's expert opinion and help and guidance and just wandering lost around a store is just pointless. It stinks. Well, with Empire Today, you don't have to do that. You get to invite them right into your front door in your home. And Empire Today is the best in flooring. And their flooring experts are going to bring that showroom right to your door. And with their virtual home designer, you can see what those floors look like right there in your house with your walls and colors and furniture and all that good stuff. Take precise measurements and only give you the best, the stuff that they would put in their own home. So with Empire Today, you get clear upfront and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. PHLY listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code PHLY. Yes, you heard that right, $350 off with code PHLY. Restrictions apply. See Empire Today/PHLY for more details. And they're presenting the show to you. Give them a big high five and a thank you. That's our friends at TrueMark Financial Credit Union. It is springtime, and that means it's time to spring into savings. And if you've got financial goals, whether it's saving for a house, taking that dream vacation, or just building that emergency fund, TrueMark Financial Credit Union can help you find the perfect savings account for you and your goals. They offer high-rate certificates and money market accounts that will help your money grow faster and work harder for you. Plus, Financial Literacy Month is going on right now, and raising some young kids, financial literacy is super, super important. So you can open a Greenlight account for your kids where you can control it all right there from an app, set goals, give chore money, and you get to control it while your kids learn the importance of financial literacy. It's a great thing TrueMark is doing. So visit TrueMark.com for rates and to learn more. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender. Rates are subject to change. Before we get to Fran's thing, Eagles have Dallas Goedert.
Yes, they do. He's a tight end.
It seems like he's all but gone. I would love him to stay because I think the Eagles are just a better team with him. I understand the financial ramifications, yada, yada, yada. He doesn't want to play on a lame duck deal. Last kind of opportunity to get the bag, as the kids say.
You're still a kid.
Yeah, at heart. Does he get moved tonight? Does he get moved this weekend? Is he an Eagle come Monday, or is this a post-June 1st thing? Like, where do you see this, unraveling?
I think it gets played out. I think it's an
feel
after
like it
June.
does too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
God, stop.
Maybe not, but
Stop agreeing
But if
with
you
me.
get through the draft, I think the only thing that makes sense is post-June 1st.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I've gone over this in my head a lot. I think he's here next year.
I would love it.
I think something gets worked out.
For those
because,
12 games, he's really good.
I was reading like an article the other day about the Eagles have learned from what they did to Brian Dawkins way back when it's like kind of Eagles, air quotes, legends and letting them go and stuff like that. I'm not calling Dallas Goedert a legend, but
pretty damn good.
Big piece of their success over the years, and I do see them hanging on to him. Do I see them going like 4th or 5th round and grabbing a tight end or two in this draft coming up? Sure. But I agree with you. I don't want to lose Dallas Goedert right now.
I wish you could just I wish you could, I don't know, figure out a 2-year deal or something, or guarantee this year. Like, I understand he still wouldn't want to do that, but like, I wish there was some amicable agreement.
And what do the Eagles have to play with? Well, sorry, buddy, you've been hurt an awful lot.
Yeah.
And sorry, buddy, but people wonder about your hands because sometimes you have some big drops.
Yeah.
We're gonna win here for years to come. You can try maybe to make money, or maybe you say to them like, "Look, just do a prove it deal."
I would love that.
Yeah, I mean,
you believe in yourself. Go out here. We'll
Exactly.
guarantee this year, and you can go make big money on the open market.
But I for two reasons, I don't see it happening. For some reason in my head, going over everything, I just don't.
Yeah.
And secondly, I don't want it to happen.
I don't either, but it feels like he's as good as gone.
I haven't felt that yet.
Really?
No, I haven't. I just feel like they're going to work something out.
Colston,
we disagree.
Yeah. One thing I'd be shocked. I wouldn't be more surprised if I woke up with my head sewed to the floor is if they traded up for a tight end in the first round.
Again? They're not going to do that, James. No. I don't see Tyler Warren coming here.
Well, I mean, I would shank you to go get Tyler Warren. But if like Colston Loveland was I always use that 21 to 23 range as like the move up territory.
God.
Like if Loveland's sitting at 23, like I don't think they go get him. I think they would pray that he falls to 32, but I don't think they're moving up for a tight end.
No, I don't see. If for some reason Warren falls at like 22, 23, and people are saying, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think I might jump up there if I'm Howie.
He might go top 10.
He
People
could.
are saying now.
It's funny. So many mocks have him going 7. I saw earlier today, and then other ones out, to 21 or something.
Yeah,
and
Fran's coverage has been phenomenal this draft season. Become a diehard. But one of the things he did yesterday was he rounded up all 60 mock drafts and did the
my God.
I know, and did the average draft position of the 60
wow,
mocks.
Fran, that is work, buddy. That is work. Proud of you.
And I think Tyler, do you remember offhand? I don't know if you read it or not. I think Tyler Warren's most average position was like either 9 or 11.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the low single digits, or high single digits, low double digits. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to Fran Duffy's mock draft, the final mock draft. It is draft night. Make sure you're tuning into Bo, Zach, and Fran this evening at 8 o'clock. Our producers, Julia and Brenna and Chris, our social media guru, do a phenomenal job on the broadcast. I've seen all the graphics and all the hard work that's been put into this thing, and I'm telling you, it's better than the national stuff. You got to dual screen it tonight. All right, let's get to Fran's final mock draft. Now, we're not going to give away every pick because you got to be a diehard to get that full access.
That's right.
You want some of Fran's thighs? You got to pay. All right? We don't give away the whole thing for free.
I think Jamie is trying to single-handedly get PHLY canceled in the last 24 minutes.
Did he say earlier he's going to shank me?
He said he was going to shank you. Yeah, so I just want to
like a playful shank.
I just want to make sure everybody heard
is there
that.
Any other kind?
A tickle shank.
That is not going to hold up in a court of law, Jamie.
What's your ticklish spots, Bob, huh?
All right, let's get to Fran.
All right, so here is Fran's final mock draft. Let's talk a little bit about just the general league here, Bob, and what could transpire tonight. Number 1 is all but a sure thing lock. And speak of locks, Tyler Lockett signed with the team where wide receivers go to die. today, the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, that's where veteran wide receivers go to die.
Well,
Tennessee.
Cam Ward should be happy. Yeah.
But Cam Ward's going to
Tyler Lockett's that underrated, good
underrated
receiver. Yes,
He was
so
awesome
good.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Cam Ward, it's a done deal.
All right, so let me throw this out. If this is a draft where you have good quarterbacks, say 4 or 5 really good quarterbacks, is he still number one head and shoulders, or is he getting put there simply because of a need of Tennessee?
I think
Need of
the
Tennessee?
latter, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Daniel Jeremiah said this is a draft of starters, not stars.
Okay.
And I thought that was a pretty good way to sum up.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
And you know, there a lot of the experts, you know, the Dane Bruglers and Jeremiahs and McShays, they're all saying that each team's evaluation and board is so different because there's such a wide range of players and it's all kind of like scheme dependent. Whereas like Ezeraku could be, you know, 16 for one team and 45th for another. And it's like there's just such a wide swing tonight. A lot of people are saying this could be the most unpredictable first round in a little bit.
The Eagles do have to select someone that has an odd name just so we can hear you pronounce it.
Ezeraku, I got that one.
You got that one. You got Worry pretty good.
Yeah. That's your South Jersey boy, Ezeraku.
Yes, that's true. I forget where he's from.
He played for the Marlton Chiefs, I think.
Yeah,
he said,
yeah.
Pee-wee.
Okay.
I forget the high school.
Yeah, I forget also.
I watched
not Camden Catholic.
And it's not
No.
Catholic.
Yeah.
But a really good interview with Anthony Gargano and his agent Andre Odom yesterday.
Cool.
You should check that out. So Cam Ward seems like a lock at 1. We agree. Travis Hunter, if Andrew Berry and the Browns do anything different, I think it would be kind of foolish. Unless you went for my man Abdul. I couldn't fault you there. But at number 3, Fran has the New York Giants selecting LaSalle College High's finest, Bob. In Mr.
What's the
Abdul.
saying? You come in a boy, you leave a man, or something?
Boys will be boys, but LaSalle boys will always be gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, it's a little too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my 25th reunion this weekend.
We just say go Irish. Yeah, how about that? You're
Yeah.
getting old. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, hell, there's going to be an Abdul Carter portion of the athletic wing in a couple of years.
Absolutely. Actually, he should show up to your reunion just to say hi.
So now the very funny rumor, we always like laughing at the Giants, right? Everybody enjoys that. I think it's hilarious.
pretty easy to do.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious they kept Joe Shane because, like, come on. So apparently Brian Daboll's guy is Jackson Dart. Now, my Giants friends are not enthused about cheering for a guy that spells his name with an X and an S and talks like a lax bro and acts like a lax bro.
Well, you got a problem with kids with people with X's in their names? You go talk to my wife about that one? She might fight you.
No. Just the way he spells it, not traditional Jackson, a variation. So the rumor is that Daboll loves Jackson Dart, and the Giants are shopping number 3. Baldy's heard it. It's the whirlwind of the top 5 talk. That apparently Will Campbell is a lock to go to the Patriots at 4. Everybody seems to agree there. But the Giants are the wild card. They might trade back to get Jackson Dart, get some extra ammo in the draft, instead of passing on an upstanding, fine young man in Abdul Carter. Your thoughts?
Yeah. For any of the other teams in the NFL, I would just laugh and say you're bringing up nonsense for the Giants. I don't think they're going to do it. I mean, that would be stupidity personified.
Here's where it gets real stupid. Joe Shane's son last night, who is a kid, I'm not calling him stupid, but this is not a good look for the Giants organization, puts on his Instagram a produced Jackson Dart highlight reel video on his Instagram. It gets picked up. He shuts his account off to private to try and stop people from looking at it. He may have leaked their plans.
I doubt it.
Listen, Jamie, I'm not saying that he did leak their
This
plans,
is the
but this
same
is
kid
the
in Hard
kid that
Knocks
wanted
that said
Jaden
Jaden
Daniels.
This
And
kid knows ball.
He was spot on.
Yeah,
so
this
maybe
kid
Jackson Dart's going to be a great
knows
quarterback.
ball.
This 12-year-old knows ball, Bob. Did he leak their plans?
This isn't even a first-round pick. In a lot of these mocks, Jackson Dart is not going in the first round.
So the speculation of the rumor was that they were going to trade back to 26 with the Rams. The Rams were going to move up, take Abdul Carter, which it was 26 for 3. That doesn't make sense to me because they have Versk and Frisk and they have youth at DN.
Yeah.
Maybe they take somebody else, but that was the rumor.
I mean,
And then you take Jackson Dart at 26, maybe get a future or an extra second or third, whatever.
there is no more perfect fit if you're looking to rectify your organization like the Giants are than taking Abdul Carter at number 3. Like that.
Well, one of the strengths the Giants do have is pass rush.
Okay, make it an overstrength. Like you got to get the best player there, and he is the best player there. He's probably, in my mind, the best player in this draft.
Yeah.
So no, I would not give that up.
Seems like Will Campbell 4 is a lock to the Patriots. General consensus. Now is when things like really kind of could go any direction. Jacksonville is on the clock at number 5. There's some talk out there they could go Genty.
He is so much fun to watch.
His player. Did you see his Players Tribune article?
It
was like 2 lines long, and you know how they like write their own things. I believe he actually wrote this one. It was like, it's called tackle football, right? I would just draft the guy they can't tackle. That's me, Ashton Genty. And I was like, this kid's awesome.
I love that. He is so much fun to watch. And but God, Jacksonville running backs. That's talk about where people go to die.
Yeah, like if I was them, I would just build through the trenches and like give Trevor Lawrence a shot, or go get a D lineman, like Jalen Walker or somebody.
Something, but yeah, I mean, it's you want to go for the exciting electrical pick, but I don't know.
The Raiders are drafting 6 tonight. They're a disaster, so who knows what they could do. The Jets seem to be tied a lot to Tyler Warren.
Poor kid.
I mean, it's nice money, but
whenever I see anybody signing with the Jets, I just go, "Oh,
that's too bad. That's too bad."
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers going 8. And then number 9, the New Orleans Saints is an interesting spot because a lot of people speculate that Shedeur Sanders could possibly go there.
Although a lot of people, now the talk today, the hot talk, he's not even a first rounder.
Oh, terrible interviewer, cocky, all
Nobody
this
went
stuff.
to his birthday party.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But do you think, they're kind of in financial hell for like a permanent state.
Yeah.
So they need to kind of get a couple cheap years of a young quarterback. So it does make sense. Carr stinks.
Yeah, he does.
Like, that's just a bad organization.
But, so you're replacing a known stink for a probable stink that you just don't know yet.
Yeah.
Plus
the Deion circus that comes with it.
Again, like you said, Fran has them taking a tackle. I would build from the trenches out if I was New Orleans.
The Bears, our friends at CHGO, are on the clock at number 10. And Fran has them taken, who, if I had... my choice would probably be my pick tonight in Mykel Williams from Georgia.
Like 6'5", 260, just a perfect frame.
A freak.
Yeah. Reminds me of Jadeveon Clowney a little bit, like just that tall. Whoa, look at that. That would be a nice fit here.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
No.
Number 11, another one that's been mocked to the Eagles a lot. I don't think he's going to be on the board anywhere near pick 32, and that's Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. I think it was Sam Monson from PFF or something yesterday tweeted, like, if Walter Nolan was to fall to 32, that would be the most Howie Roseman pick ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is kind of too good to be true.
And everything I've read about him and all, I go like this. I do is he more Jalen Carter or is he more Jordan Davis? Because everything I read is like the motor is there, sometimes not, sometimes. If it's always there, okay. Not that he's as good as Jalen Carter, but that's where you go.
But if he's only playing 35-40% with the Eagles,
right,
can you maximize that 40%?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true too. But is he a guy that you put out there and you're like a Jordan Davis?
Yeah.
Come on, here we go. I'm telling you, his football body just left him.
Yeah.
When he chased down, who was chasing down on the Bills? And he fell out of bounds.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Was it Josh Allen? I didn't know if it was a receiver or not. It's Josh Allen scrambling, and he chased him out of bounds. Yeah, and then he laid there and looked up at the sky, and I swear to God, his football body went, see ya, and it was gone.
That was all we had left. All right, number 12. Now let's laugh at the Dallas Cowboys. Because yesterday, Jerry Jones says that I'm working on 2 big blockbuster first-round trades for the Dallas Cowboys. Why the hell would you say that? Don't say that. If you're making a trade, go make the trade. Like, one of the things the Eagles do best is they are tight-lipped, no leaks. Like, you don't know what they're doing until they do it. And you got this pervert out on radio going like, oh, I'm going to go get me a glory hole and trade up in the first round. And it's like,
Poor
dude,
Tyler.
why would you say that?
Yeah, if I'm the organization, I'm just kind of like.
And then he's got
but nobody can say anything because he is the
and
organization.
his big fail son sitting up there with him, like, oh yeah, we didn't know what we were going to do in that draft, and then we got CeeDee Lamb, and it's like, cool.
Yeah.
What did that get you?
I don't know. That organization is just. Could you imagine being a fan of that organization?
No.
Of the Giants organization, the Jets, like it's just horrible.
Yeah.
Although we were there for many years.
Yeah, we
too,
were.
so, yeah.
That's a past life. The Cardinals on the clock. Our friends in the desert at PHNX. Fran has them taking Jalen Walker, another Georgia defensive player. Then you talk about maniac owners. Let's go to the Indianapolis Colts at 14. Fran has them taking Loveland. So the tight ends are gone. 2 off the board by 14 in Fran's mock. That's kind of wild. 2 tight ends in the top 14.
That is.
I think that kind of shows you how all over this draft is. Like the fact that 2 tight ends are going top 14.
Yeah, that's
Looney Tunes.
That's crazy. But I don't disagree with either one of it.
No.
You know, I Tyler Warren, you know, we get a lot of Penn State games here, obviously.
He's a stud.
Oh my God. He's just a football player.
Yeah, he played quarterback. He's like Lane Johnson, played quarterback, some offensive line,
he could
some
just
running
do
back,
anything, you know, 3rd and 1, and you're throwing him back there to just take the snap under center and get the first down. And the kid Loveland from Michigan is just another kid that stands out when you're watching a game.
I got to be honest, I'm not in love with the last name. I don't want to say Loveland all the time. So for that reason, I'm out. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God!
Oh, touchdown,
Tyler,
Loveland!
is this every day?
You gotta pass the name test. He knows my belief in the name test.
Jamie is very staunchly into the name test.
It's got to pass. It's got to flow. It's got to have
So
pizzazz.
you envision a guy and you're like,
Nope.
no, I can't see that name on the back of the
I
jersey.
swear to you, yes. And I swear to you, I
can't
will
see an offensive lineman named like Smalls. It has to be like Brunkoski or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I always say the player's name and I go, can I envision so and so hoisting a trophy? And the name has to have a certain ring to it. It's got to work.
Yeah.
Can't force it in there, Bob.
Okay.
The Atlanta Falcons are on the clock at 15. Fran has them looking after an edge rusher, one guy that's been tied to the Eagles a lot, and that would be James Pierce Jr. Seems like a lot of these guys aren't slipping in Fran's mind.
No, and I like this kid Pierce. Like him a lot. The way they describe him.
The Tennessee defensive end.
No, I hear you on that.
Derek Barnett has scarred me.
They had you can go back a few
Reggie
more years.
White. I mean,
he was decent.
Was he okay?
He was all right. This guy's speed lends to his power, but his just power isn't quite there yet. Somebody that has to bulk up a little bit, but he intrigues me, this guy.
If I hear ankle bend, I get shivers.
You get shivers?
Yeah, Derek Barnett. Well, his ankle bend.
Oh,
his ankle bend.
Yeah, you'd see his back almost to the ground when he was coming around the
People
corner.
got real weird about his ankles.
You're calling people weird about them judging his ankles when you have to envision the name on the back of the jersey.
Derek Barnett should get on Feet Finder. All right, number 16, the Miami Dolphins. Your boy, Fran, has Emmanuel Worry from South Carolina going to Miami.
6'3", 220. Just doesn't look to be a safety out there, but so fast. His stride is so long. He is so impressive. If somehow the Eagles were able to get him, that would be a whoa.
Yeah.
Love that.
Now, this is the part of the draft where I think like Howie Roseman could start to have some eyes. Like 17 to 32, I think is like wild card range. You know, obviously 17 to 23 is going to cost you a lot more than 23 to 31.
Sure.
But
they have it.
Yeah, but I start to think like this is like kind of the area of the draft where if there's somebody that they really love, like, okay, start making some calls. What's it going to cost us? The Bengals are on the clock at 17. Fran has them going in the trenches. The Pacific Northwest Seattle Seahawks also stay in the trenches with some offensive line in Fran's story. Then the Tampa Bay Bucks at 19. And a guy that was projected like top 12 not that long ago, Fran has falling to the Tampa Bay Bucks, and that's cornerback Will Johnson from Michigan. I mean, when this draft process started, Tyler, if I'm not mistaken, he was like top 10 a lot of times.
Yeah, there was a lot of top 10 buzz for him. One of the first, if not the first corner off the board in a lot of people's mock drafts, yeah.
So a little bit of a slip in terms of the mock draft world for Will Johnson.
He's got a medical thing going. Yeah,
a lot of guys have.
Yeah.
A lot of guys' girlfriends are in there. You know what movie that's from? If you get this, I'd be impressed.
Okay, no.
Tyler? It's kind of in your wheelhouse a little bit, a little early for you. Wayne's World.
Yeah, no, Wayne's World guy.
They go to the Alice Cooper concert,
Yeah.
and Wayne and Garth are trying to get into the VIP.
I met Alice Cooper.
Really?
All right, so go ahead, finish.
Did you know Alice Cooper was a background singer for Bob Dylan?
By the way, I said first corner off the board. I should say first non-Travis Hunter corner off the board.
Hunter.
Like strictly a corner off the board.
And Wayne and Garth are trying to get into the VIP, and they're like, my girlfriend's in there. And the security guard, it might have been Chris Farley, he goes, a lot of guys' girlfriends are in there.
That's pretty good.
But yes, Alice Cooper.
Great golfer. Alice Cooper.
Yes, he's like addicted to the game because it took him off of drugs. He said that was his new addiction.
Oh, is that right?
When he got clean was golf.
Wow.
And he said, I just became addicted to golf.
Are you getting Alice Cooper info anywhere else on NFL
come
Draft
on.
Day? No.
But I
met him at his bar in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw the Bob Dylan movie with Chalamet.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's good. It's slow. If you like Bob Dylan, you'll like it.
Yeah.
It's great acting.
Is it long? Is it over 2 hours?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm out.
But Alice Cooper was a studio background singer on Highway 61.
How about that?
And I was like, that can't be the same Alice Cooper. And I looked it up. And it was him.
He had to start somewhere.
How about that? All right, we'll continue with this mock draft. And then I got Eagles draft trivia for Bobby. Well, let's take another moment to tell you about our friends here at PHLY. And that's our friends at Ashley Furniture. Head to our website at allphly.com/Ashley. They are giving away a sectional and $1,000 Visa gift card in our Ultimate Fan Cave giveaway. And everybody can use a sectional from Ashley. Come on. And it is time for spring savings, and low prices are blooming at Ashley. So spring into savings at Ashley. Save up to 50% off living rooms, bedrooms, and dining rooms, and have it delivered for free. Plus, get long-term, no-interest financing. That's always me and my wife's go-to move. If there's 0% offers being thrown around, take it. Why not? Save on top brand mattresses and get free delivery, setup, and removal. But don't wait. Spring into savings now at Ashley, South Jersey, and Philadelphia. Financing with approved credit, minimum purchase required. Some exclusions may apply. See stores for complete details. Hurry to Ashley. Visit ashleyfurniture.com for more information. And Bob, tonight, me and Devon Givens are going to be a tiny, tiny part of the draft show coverage, as we'll be out at JD McGillicuddy's in Manayunk. You know why?
Why, James?
Because we get to spread the good word of Pabst Light, the delicious new light beer.
Somebody promised me one while we were doing this.
Well, there's some cold ones in the fridge if you feel like venturing out right now and grabbing two. I mean, we could end the show with a beer. I don't think it's the worst idea I've ever heard, Bob.
Might be the best.
But yeah, there we go. There's, I don't mind a room temperature beer.
No.
Come on.
I can't do room.
All right. We'll wait for the cold ones after the show. But Pabst Light is a new light modern beer from Pabst Brewing Company. Only 96 calories, 3.5 grams of carbs, and full of crisp and refreshing flavor. We use high-quality ingredients so you can get that high-quality beer at a smart, approachable price. And look, it's pool season. It's beach season. 96-calorie beers are the drink of the season. It retains the fun and independent spirit of Pabst, but it's light. So learn more about Pabst Light at pabstlight.com. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or older. All right, let's finish out this mock. The Denver Broncos are on the clock at number 20. Omarion Hampton is a guy that seems to be like a shoe-in pick for them. Genty is going to go early, according to most. But Hampton is getting a lot of buzz. Fran has Hampton going to the Broncos at pick 20. Our friends at DNVR are talking a lot about him. It seems like this one's kind of two magnets that have found each other.
If I'm a running back, there's no place I'd rather not play, I don't think, than like Denver.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't. It's always been a pass-happy kind of organization. It's cold. It's always cold there.
It's always
running
cold,
back, getting hit, cold. Yeah, no.
Cold place picks next. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fran has them going in the defensive trenches. Then the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Fran has them taking Mason Taylor, the son of Hall of Famer Jason Taylor, tight end out of LSU. Promising kid.
People say their bodies are identical.
Yeah.
Him and his father.
He's kind of one of these late risers. He was originally kind of like an early second, mid-round second. Fran has him now up around 22. So that's 3 tight ends in the top 22 in Fran Duffy's
nuts,
draft.
isn't it? Yeah.
That's crazy.
You make a great point. It just shows how weird this draft is this year.
Yeah. Green Bay Packers, another guy Fran has on the defensive line. A lot of people talked about him here with the Eagles. I know the guys covered him a bunch. That's Shamar Stewart, a guy that didn't really stuff the stat sheet, but kind of has that raw athleticism and shows up on film better than the numbers say.
Yeah, it's one of those guys. He's got to learn NFL technique,
Yeah.
things like that. So
The Vikings at 24, Fran has them going to our old friend's school at North Dakota State with Gray Zabel. Then the Houston Texans at 25, another offensive lineman. Then the Rams, Ekbuka from Ohio State. This kid is a stud.
he is.
I think he's getting slept on a little bit.
He is. I mean, everything you read about him, it kind of has that but after the first sentence. He's explosive, but here's the thing. I was thinking about this and saying, would this be a fit for the Eagles? Because I did see one mock have him going to the Eagles. They don't throw to the slot. They don't throw to a third slot guy, I should say.
Not
if somebody's
often.
catching in the slot, it's
They
going to be
didn't
A.J.
while
Brown. It's
Goddard
going to be.
was here. Does life change if Goddard's gone?
I don't know. I just don't see Jalen Hurts going past his passing game of going to A.J. Brown, going to DeVonta Smith, and going to Saquon Barkley. I really don't. I would love to see that inside slot guy, the guy on 3rd and 7 that you just know, like an Edelman, is going to get open and you can get it to him. But I don't
You're
think
right.
they do it.
I mean, they don't.
Yeah.
The Ravens at 27, they have them taking Scorton from Texas A&M. Then the Detroit Lions at 28 take South Jersey's Donovan Ezaraku from Boston College. 29, weird seeing the Commanders picking this low in the draft. Another running back goes in Fran's mock to the Commanders there. And then the Buffalo Bills go cornerback at 30. Kansas City Chiefs take the next Vinny Curry from Marshall University, and that's Mike Green. And then this is a dream if it happens. I'd be doing naked cartwheels down Broad Street. The Philadelphia Eagles select Malachi Starks at pick 32.
Tyler has become immune to your,
Yes.
naked cartwheels, Broad Street, shanking, all that
Yes.
stuff. Okay.
That's a dream
I'm in.
scenario for me.
I'm good.
If you don't have to trade and you get Malachi Starks, hell yeah, Fran Duffy.
So this is my weirdness. I'll say it. If he falls to them and they just take him at 32,
Scared?
I'm more disappointed than I would be if they traded up and got him at 23 because I'm wondering, well, why the hell did he fall to 32?
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair
Just
thought.
stupid stuff that we do.
Jeremiah was
But-
putting out yesterday that, the league loves this kid. Like,
Yeah.
It's not just the Eagles. Like, everybody just seems to love him.
So as I
getting
said,
my
that
product
is my
placement
number
right
one
here.
guy. What are you doing?
Just getting the product placement looking
okay.
sharp for our friends at Paps.
Advertising, man.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the best. I would love it.
Yeah.
I'd be really, really happy. It's the guy that I've been saying that I wanted all along. Sometimes you'll pick a guy in your head, and then you read through everything. No, that guy fell. This guy stayed with me for some reason all throughout, going through mocks, reading up on player, watching highlights of people. I'd be perfectly fine with that.
And
Although
guess
I
what?
really
He's already
do.
engaged. So mature for his age.
Well, maybe
Maybe.
he had to. But I like Sidney Brown too, and I think people
Yeah.
are forgetting about that a
But
little
to your same
bit.
point, it was concerning to me that he didn't get more opportunities last year. Like,
But
when
he
it
was still
presented.
a year off, not even a
Like
year
Tristan
off an
McCollum,
injury.
I know, but like McCollum was getting time over him. I'm like,
I think
is he
they
one
were.
of these guys like Paul Reed where he just doesn't practice well and like get it? Or
I
is he-
was wondering if it was why should we risk injury when we are 14-3 and we have Super Bowl
Maybe.
chances and all that. I don't want to sleep on Sidney Brown. I want to put that
All
on the
right.
record here now. I don't want to sleep on him at all.
All right, Bobby, we got 12 minutes, and I cooked up a little Eagles draft trivia for you
Oh
today.
boy, here we go.
Tyler has the answers. He is prepared. He is the finger on the trigger with the correct ding or the X, which we cannot hear, but the listeners can. Let's get a little thumbs up here for Bob Cooney today, sitting in the chair. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you're subscribing it. Not a literal thumbs up.
I want to give myself a thumbs up for
The
being
YouTube
with you
thumbs
for an
up.
hour.
Smash.
Smash.
All right, so I have 17 questions here.
Jesus.
Yeah. A little bit of a wide range, a couple old ones, couple like 80s, 90s, Not a lot from the last 3-4 years because those are still fresh in the mind. I have to really test those.
My mind's not that fresh, James.
All right, Bob, here we'll kick it off. Number 1. In the year 2000, the Eagles selected a defense. Now, let me just say this.
Oh, my God.
This is on the harder end of the questions, so they're not all going to be this difficult. In the year 2000, reminds me of Conan O'Brien. In the year 2000.
Do you see how his mind just, you try to keep your mind going this
he
way.
wanders,
James
Bob.
just like
It's just
kind of
wandering.
flies all over the place.
This works for 4 hours on radio. When you've got 59 minutes, it's not quite the same.
Good luck getting to these 17 questions.
In the year 2000, the Eagles
don't like
selected a
Conan
defensive
O'Brien.
end out of Utah who left the team in the preseason to pursue a musical career.
Oh.
Who was he?
He had 2 first names.
Yes, he did.
Frank was either his
Yes.
first or last name.
That
Really?
is last.
Okay. I have no idea.
I mean, I give you all the credit in the
I
world.
thought Frank was his first name.
It's
to tell you
John
the truth.
Frank,
Is that
defensive
right?
end,
Okay.
6th-round pick out of Utah. That's
How about
great
that?
work by you.
Yeah. I don't know why I remember that, but I do.
His
yeah.
musical career failed, and he tried to make it back to the NFL. Never.
I didn't follow him that much after he left the Eagles. I have to be totally honest.
He didn't make it up.
Okay.
All right, number 2. From 1974 to 1978, the Eagles did not own a first-round pick because they had traded for Bill Berge and Roman Gabriel.
Okay.
They made a first-round pick finally again in 1979.
Robinson. Linebacker, UCLA.
Wow. Who did they select? Jerry Robinson from UCLA.
Last time they took a linebacker in the first round.
And he went on to be an All-Pro.
Yeah.
Look at the big brain on Bob Cooney. All right, 1983, considered one of the best NFL drafts ever. The Eagles picked 8th that year. Who did they take?
You got to give me a position.
Defensive lineman, I'm pretty positive.
83. Oh my gosh.
Wait, let me confirm that. I'm blanking on the position for some reason. No, I'm sorry. A running back. Way off.
In 83? No, it wasn't Wilbert because Wilbert was already there. In 1983, I'm going to have to go with, I don't know.
You
Go
know
ahead.
this name. Sounds like a boxer.
I was going to say Haddix, but I don't think that's it. Is it Michael Haddix? Is
Yes,
it really?
Michael
Okay.
Haddix.
I thought he was later than that for
They
some
passed
reason.
over Bruce Matthews, Jim Kelly, and Darryl Green.
Yeah, they messed up.
All right. In 1997, Ray Rhodes.
I remember him.
Yeah, he took a tall defensive end who he compared
From
to
Virginia.
Ed Too Tall Jones at the time of the draft. Who was he?
Williams.
Oh, no.
No. Wait, what year?
1997.
Yeah, I was, nah, I don't know. I didn't have that.
That would be defensive end John Harris.
Harris from Virginia,
Yes,
right?
he was from Virginia. Close,
My
Bob.
fault. All right, I get partial credit, right, Ty?
Partial, I guess.
I knew what college you went to.
No.
All right, in 1993, the Eagles took wide receiver, great name, Victor Bailey out of Kansas. He never did much, but they ended up trading him to the Kansas City Chiefs and gained a 2nd-round pick and selected who with it?
In 1993?
They took Victor Bailey. They ended up trading him, I think, 2 years later or a year later, and that 2nd-round pick became an Eagles legend.
An Eagles legend?
Hall of Very Good. Maybe not legend.
What position did we say again?
He was from the University of Notre Dame.
They didn't draft Golick. I'm drawing a blank.
Bobby Taylor.
Ah, shoot. That's horrible by me.
Come on,
I
Bob.
apologize, people. I
All
think
right.
you messed that up, though.
In 1998, the Eagles got guff for taking our dear friend, Trey Thomas,
I love Trey Thomas. Took him at
ahead
number
of
12.
Randy Moss.
That's okay.
Trey ended up making them eat those words. Who did they take in the 2nd round that year?
Trey Thomas went first. Trotter, right?
Ding, ding, ding.
Right?
Look at the
Okay,
big
good.
brain on Bob.
Yep.
Trey Thomas, Jeremiah Trotter.
Because Trey used to talk to us about that all the time. Yeah.
That's a good 1-2 punch
Oh,
right
man.
there. Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Two guys that you like to hang with, too.
Yeah. In 1985, the Eagles took an All-American punter in the 2nd round. Who was it?
Punter in the second round?
An All-American punter in the second round.
Wait, 85? Trick question. Randall Cunningham?
Ding, ding, ding! Look at the big brain on Bobby.
Yeah.
Yes, he was an All-American punter at UNLV.
I was thinking Russell Erxleben, who was a... you guys wouldn't remember.
Who was Randall's backup quarterback at UNLV?
Oh, it was the announcer dude. The funny guy.
Kenny Mayne.
Kenny Mayne.
That's right,
yeah.
Bob. Look at you. All right. In 1990, Fred Barnett and Calvin Williams were the second and third round picks of the Eagles, but they selected a first round wide receiver that year as well. Who was it?
In 1990?
I'm sorry, it was second, third, and fourth rounds, not first round. So in the second round, they took a wide receiver ahead of Fred Barnett and Calvin Williams, who went in the third and fourth rounds. Who was that said wide receiver?
Yeah, right. I got nothing. I got nothing here.
Mike Bellamy out of Illinois.
Yeah, you could have given me the Bellamy, and I wouldn't have gotten Mike.
But how about that? Isn't that funny how the NFL draft works? Your third
did
and
he
fourth.
play any games here?
If he did, I've never heard of him.
Wow.
Who
right,
was
I'll give
the
you that.
latest first round Eagles pick to never start a game?
Okay. The latest, like the
most
highest.
the most recent Eagles first round pick to never start
Watkins?
a game. Ooh, good guess, but no, he started pretty much right from the jump.
I didn't think.
Give you another chance. I was at O'Neill's Pub with VG and my friend Hicks, and I screamed.
At this guy?
Yes.
He was there and you screamed at him?
No, I was just like, what the hell are you doing? This was classic.
Give me a position. Oh, wait.
This was classic smartest guy in the room, Howie, period, where he tried to overthink everything and he reached.
Never started.
I don't think Howie was the GM at that. I think that they had turned it over to somebody else. I mean, he was still the GM, you know what I mean? But I think they had turned drafting decision-making over to the other guy.
Did you say to start a game?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Marcus Smith?
Yeah, Bobby.
I knew he played, but I didn't know if he had started or not.
All right. The Eagles traded Donovan McNabb on Easter Sunday, and they got a second-round pick for him. Who did they select with the second-round pick? This is the chronology stuff that just it's hard.
I am not.
I'll give you a
trade
position,
guy.
safety.
Quinton Demps.
Ooh, not a bad guess. That would be Nate Allen from UCF. All right. Who was the last Eagles running back selected in the first round?
Miles Sanders was second round, and you wanted him. You wanted
That is
Miles
correct.
Sanders.
Yes, I was a Miles Sanders guy.
Running back in the first round. I don't have that in my head either.
You know this guy. You're going to be real mad at yourself. This is your
Give me a
wheelhouse. Was that Ohio State? That's Ohio State, right, Tyler? Hold on, let me double check my work here.
See, if you're going to ask trivia questions and you don't know.
Yeah, it's Ohio State. He's from Ohio, the Ohio State University. You'll be mad at yourself if you don't get this. You might not sleep tonight.
I'm
That's
not
how bothered
I don't have it. I don't have it in my head. I honestly don't.
KB?
Oh, really?
Keith?
Yeah, Keith Byers.
Wow. How about
That's the
that?
last time they took a running back in the first round?
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
I don't know why I don't have that in my head. That's funny.
What Eagles draft pick became the first player in NFL history with 25 sacks and 25 interceptions?
Brian Dawkins.
Ding, ding, ding. Look at the big brain on Bob.
How do you like that?
Who was the first player drafted by Chip Kelly during his time with the Eagles?
Huff.
I could make the case he's the greatest Eagle ever.
Can make the case this is the worst first round in the history of the draft.
Seriously.
The Eagles got one of three good players.
Who was the first? Was it Watkins?
No.
No, that was...
I could call him the greatest Eagle ever. I could make the case for it. Easily. He's still on the team, Bob.
Lane Johnson?
Yes.
Okay.
Chip Kelly, thank you.
I did know that. I do have that in my memory bank.
Yeah.
Things are starting to dust off.
There you
here when it
go.
comes
We're getting
to
warmed up
football.
now.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Deshaun Jackson was the second Eagle taken in the second round of his draft. Who went ahead of him in the second round of the Eagles?
Give me a position.
I'll give you his alma mater.
Okay.
I mean, I can give you both.
No.
Notre Dame. Another Notre Dame guy.
It was that running back.
What was it?
And he led the team in rushing for 1 year with like 504 yards. No? I don't know who we got.
Trevor Laws.
Oh, no. I can see him with the braids coming out of the back, but no.
Yeah.
Shoot,
all
I
right,
should have
Bob,
had
3
that
more. You got 3 more here to save
Yeah,
yourself.
do we?
And we're going to head real quick to overtime. All right. When the Eagles traded up for Kevin Kolb in the second round, what team did they trade with? People thought they were nuts at the time.
Cobb went to Houston. They traded up with the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh, close, but no.
Who?
Not really close. Only close in that the Cardinals used to be an NFC East team, which never made any sense to me. The Dallas Cowboys. People were like, oh, you're giving the Eagles their quarterback they wanted? That's a bad move.
Kevin Kolb. I remember Les Bowen going out to like somewhere in Texas and fishing with him, I believe.
Yeah. I remember that story.
To write a story.
Kevin Kolb?
Kevin Kolb.
Kevin Kolb can't throw.
You're probably one of the leaders of the Kevin Kolb.
No, I got that one
announcers.
right.
Did you?
It's mostly the baseball players I really struggle with. I toast.
Yeah, okay.
3 straight second-round picks in the secondary happened in Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepherd, and Michael Lewis.
Okay.
And they all went on to have great runs with the Eagles.
Right.
What order were they selected?
What order
Of those three.
Those 3?
In what chronological order did they go?
I'll go.
I think the first round's a layup. Second round's where it gets tricky.
Give me the 3 guys again.
It is Sheldon Brown,
Right.
Lito Shepherd,
Right.
Michael Lewis.
Shepherd, I think, went 26. So I'm going to go Brown, Shepherd, Lewis. Wrong?
You really let me down.
Sorry.
Lito Shepherd
Lewis,
did go,
Brown.
I believe, 26 out of the University of
Shepherd,
Florida.
Lewis, Brown.
Yes.
that
Shepherd,
right?
Lewis, Brown.
Okay,
Michael
Shepherd,
Lewis
Lewis,
went ahead of Sheldon Brown.
Lito did. I did have 26 in my head.
I think
but
he
went
was 26. I think you're
Didn't
exactly
he wear
right.
26 also, Ty?
Lito.
Yeah, a little bit before his time.
How old do you think I am? I watched the entirety of Lito's career. Now I was a child.
Number
then,
26,
but
I think, wasn't he?
I think he was.
It's a good question, actually.
Thank you. And if he is.
All right, last
some
question.
of these, even
for
though
you.
I'm not getting them right, like there's
You're
knowledge
close.
there.
You're close.
Well, I got it. Okay.
These are tough.
Yep.
I don't think
26.
They're tough. 26?
26.
Okay.
All right, last one. Andy Reid presided over 14 drafts during his time in Philadelphia.
Okay. All right.
What position of these 5 position groups did he draft most frequently in the first round? Your options are offensive guard, defensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive end, or offensive tackle.
I'd go offensive tackle.
That's what my head said originally, and then I thought about
That's
it
a
more.
big
Bob.
head, too.
It is a big head. 7 3
Uh,
Defensive
end?
tackle.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. You like those big ass guys.
You got to get the fatties up front. You know
gotta
that.
get those big asses.
You got to get those big fatties up front. Was that 17 questions?
That was 17 questions. How do you
Ty-
feel?
I-
You need a
you know,
cigarette?
I feel all right. I probably got about 10, 11 right.
You did all right.
And then the ones I didn't get right, I was right. Like
Commendable
I knew.
showing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we got Quinyon
I think we
down.
get a nice little golf clap.
We could do a golf clap.
Yeah, I think we get a nice little golf clap
All right.
for Bob.
Not bad.
All right. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for us here today, Bob.
That's it? That's all we got?
It does seem like, real quick, here's the list as you get prepared 4 hours and 57 minutes from now when Zach, Bo, and Fran really do the real draft day work. We're just
We're just the fill-in.
We're the idiots that
Yeah.
get to fill in.
Yeah.
Here's the list of players that they've had in for pre-draft visits. Now, this is very important because last year, both Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Anais Smith, and Johnny Wilson all came in for pre-draft visits.
Okay.
I believe like the majority of their draft picks in the past couple of years have all been in for pre-draft visits. So here is the list according to their projected round ish. Malachi Starks in, Walter Nolan in, Donovan Ezeraku in. Maxwell Hairston, Josh Connerly Jr., Trey Amos, Donovan Jackson, Nick Scourton, Tyleek Williams, TJ Sanders. And then you get a little bit deeper. Tyler, I do like your boy a little bit, the safety out of Penn State. If you're talking round 3 or 4.
KJ Winston?
Yeah.
See, my big concern with KJ.
What are your thoughts on him?
My big concern with KJ Winston is how does he bounce back from the injury? Because he was running like a 4.38, 4.4 40 before the injury, and he ran a 4.5 at the combine. And so I don't know how he's going to bounce. The kid's a football player. Like, he's a very, very good football player. I just don't know how he bounces back.
What are your thoughts on the other 2 Penn Staters that came in for visits and his safety?
Jalen Reed. I am a huge Jalen Reed fan. I have been for quite some time.
And he gets a lot of love.
Yeah.
When you read about him, he gets a lot of love.
I am a huge Jalen Reed fan.
And great name, Kobe King. Also in for a
Kobe King's an interesting one because, like, Kobe King
they need linebacker depth.
He's the type of guy who, like, is in the right spot all the time, is a short tackler, wraps up well, but, like, I'm not sure how he translates to the NFL level.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like, I probably see Kobe King somewhere in the fifth-ish round.
In this, he was, I got to go to my color chart, 5th round.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
So you take a shot? If 5th round.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, you're throwing darts in the 5th round.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Less than 5 hours away from the best draft coverage in town. There's a Die Hard sale going on through Sunday. You should absolutely consider becoming a Die Hard with us at PHLY. Fran's work alone is worth it, but you get so many other perks and benefits with it. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button before you're out of here. Tell your friends, wives, family members, dogs, everybody about PHLY. Subscribe to the channel. The draft coverage, make it your home this weekend. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday. I'll be out at JD McGillicuddy's tonight with Devon Givens, drinking some of these bad boys right here.
Attaboy.
Buying some for the good people while the guys do the hard work here in the studio.
You're buying?
Yeah.
Wow.
You coming out?
You're buying, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah.
All right, but make sure you're tuning back in tonight, 8 o'clock, as the draft show will be underway. Really excited for tonight.
Yeah, it's draft night. How can you not? Even though
I can't wait to hear the little jingle.
Yeah, that gets on my nerves after like 6 or 7. But even though the Eagles are going 32, I hope to God, and I do feel fully that they're going to pick tonight. But if they don't,
it would be such a bummer.
Really?
It would be such a bummer.
At midnight, you're going to bed.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
First couple ones.
First couple ones is cool. After that, it's
yeah.
No, that's it. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming in today, Bob.
Can I give you a hug like the hugs that are going to be given out tonight?
We have to charge for those on YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, you want to bro hug it up?
Nah, I don't. No, I'm good.
Oh, now it's weird.
Never mind.
Thank you to Tyler Zulli for producing the show. Thanks everybody in here for hanging out with us. See you back here on the channel tonight, 8 o'clock, for the Eagles draft special. Thanks to our friends at TrueMark Financial for presenting the show. And thanks to our friends at PHLY, who will be with me tonight at Manayunk. Go Birds! We'll see you soon.
We all silly like the mayor.